So in the space in front of you, imagine Buddhas and Bodhisattvas filling up every atom of space. And they're made of light. And they sit on teaching thrones. And they're dynamic. And they're doing beneficial activity for living beings. So they're teaching or debating or meditating or what have you. And you generate a sense of faith or trust in these figures and what they represent. So you think, if I don't change my habits of body, speech, and mind, then I will be forced to repeat them indefinitely. And the reason that's problematic is because it harms yourself and it harms living beings. And so if I can become like these holy beings and be free from bad habits of speech and mind, unproductive or unsustainable habits of body, speech, and mind, then I want to do that. And they're the people I want to learn from, or I want to model myself on, where they have the information that I need. And so with that sense of trust and respect in these figures, based on the fear of what will happen to you if you don't change, then we go for refuge. Zongye Judan Zogi Junam Janju Bardu Dani Gyabzuchi Dagi Janzogi Bezonamgi Jula Benjur Zongye Jubar Shun Zongye Judan Zogi Junam Janju Bardu Dani Gyabzuchi Dagi Janzogi Bezonamgi Jola Benjur Zangye Jubar Shul Zangye Jodan Zogi Chonam Chanju Bardu Dani Gyabzochi Zogi Janzogi Bezonamgi Jola Benjur Zangye Jubar Shul. And then imagine that all living beings surround you. And behind you stretches the continuity of your lives, stretching infinitely backward. And to the right is the continuity of the male people that created you, your father and your father's father, and to the left, your mother and all the women that helped create you. And in front of you are the people for whom you have animosity or difficulty. And behind you are the people for whom you have clinging attachment. And then the space between are all the beings that you don't think about or are indifferent to. And you think, I'm leading all these beings in this practice for their benefit. And you generate a sense of regret in the actions of body, speech, and mind that are unproductive for you, or unhelpful, or unsustainable. And you can think about what you've done today, or the day yesterday and stretching back as far as you can remember. And you can assume that you've engaged in negative actions of all the categories, the 10 non-virtuous karmas, those general categories. And you develop a sense of regret, which is not a sense of guilt, which has a moralistic tone to it, but a sense of regret as if you had imbibed poison, and you're just, I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I could go back and undo that. So just a sense of regret without the moral overlay that I'm a bad person because of, you don't have to do that part. And you develop a sense of regret for the actions of killing that you've ever engaged in, all the actions of stealing you've ever engaged in, the way you've misused your sexuality, all those, and lying and harsh speech and divisive speech and gossiping and maliciousness and covetousness and wrong views. And you just spend some time. This is the most important part of this practice, is generating that sense of regret. I wish I hadn't done that. I regret that. I regret that. I just wish I hadn't done that. And then you think, above the crown of your head, seated upon a lotus and moon seat, are Vajrasattva, father and mother. Their bodies are white. Each has one face and two arms. He holds a dorje and bell. She, a curved knife and skull cup. They are embracing each other. The father is adorned with 6 mudras, the mother with 5. He sits in the Vajra posture and she in the lotus. Vajrasattva is your guru, the holy mind of all the Buddhas, the Dharmakaya, who out of unbearable compassion embraces you and all other sentient beings and appears in this form to purify yourself and all others. On a moon disk at Vajrasattva's heart stands a hum, encircled by a garland of the 100-syllable mantra. A powerful stream of white nectar flows from the hum and mantra garland, and you are cleansed of all sickness, spirit harm, negative karmas, and obscurations. And then I say the mantra. Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA TITHA SUPO ANURAKTO ZARASINI PRAYATSA TSAME SIDDHI KURU TATHAGATA MAME MUNTSA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA TITHA SUPO ANURAKTO ZARASINI PRAYATSA SIDDHI KURU BHAGAVAN TATHAGATA MAME MUNTSA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA TITHA SUPO ANURAKTO ZARASINI PRAYATSA SIDDHI KURU BHAGAVAN TATHAGATA MAME MUNTSA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA TITHA SUPO ANURAKTO ZARASINI PRAYATSA SIDDHI KURU BHAGAVAN TATHAGATA MAME MUNTSA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA TITHA SUPO ANURAKTO ZARASINI PRAYATSA SIDDHI KURU BHAGAVAN TATHAGATA MAME MUNTSA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA TITHA ANURAKTO ZARASINI PRAYATSA SIDDHI KURU BHAGAVAN TATHAGATA MAME MUNTSA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA TITHA SUPO ANURAKTO ZARASINI PRAYATSA SIDDHI KURU BHAGAVAN TATHAGATA MAME MUNTSA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA TITHA SUPO ANURAKTO ZARASINI PRAYATSA SIDDHI KURU BHAGAVAN TATHAGATA MAME MUNTSA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA TITHA SUPO ANURAKTO ZARASINI PRAYATSA SIDDHI KURU BHAGAVAN TATHAGATA MAME MUNTSA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA TITHA SUPO ANURAKTO ZARASINI PRAYATSA SIDDHI KURU BHAGAVAN TATHAGATA MAME MUNTSA Vajrasattva SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA JIDO MEVOVA SUTO MEVOVA SUPO MEVOVA ANURAKTO MEVOVA SARVA MEPYUTA SARVA TSAME SIDDHI SHRIYAM KURU HUM BHAGAVAN SARVA TATHAGATA VAJRA MAME MUNTSA VAJRA BHAVA SAMAYA SARVA OM DE OM VAJRASATTVA SAMAYA MANUPALAYA Vajrasattva DENOPHA TITHA JIDO MEVOVA SUTO MEVOVA SUPO MEVOVA ANURAKTO MEVOVA Sarasina Mepuyasa Sarikama Sutsame Siddhin Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvatagata Vajramami Vasa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sava Om Pi Om Vajrasava Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasava Deno Patita Jinamevava Sutukaya Mevava Supakaya Mevava Inaraktu Mevava Sarasini Mepuyasa Sarikama Sutsame Siddhin Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvatagata Vajramami Mahayana Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sava Om Vajrasava Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasava Dinopatita Jinamevava Sutukayamevava Supakayamevava Anarktumevava Sarasini Mepiyatsa Sarikama Sutsame Siddhan Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sava Om Vajrasava Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasava Dinopatita Jinamevava Sutukayamevava Supakayamevava Anurakto Mevava Sarasini Mepiyasa Sarikama Sutsame Siddhan Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sava Om Vajrasava Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasava Dinopatita Jinamevava Sutakayamevava Supakayamevava Anarkto Mevava Sarasini Mepiyasa Sarikama Sutsame Siddhin Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sava Om Vajrasava Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasava Dinopatita Jinamevava Sutakayamevava Supakayamevava Anarkto Mevava Sarasini Mepiyasa Sarikama Sutsame Siddhin Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sava Om Vajrasava Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasava Dinopatita Jinamevava Sutakayamevava Supakayamevava Anarkto Mevava Sarasina Mepiyasa Sarikama Sutsame Siddhin Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvatagata Vajramami Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sava Om Vajrasava Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasava Dinopatita Jinamevava Sutakayamevava Supakayamevava Anarkto Mevava Sarasina Mepiyasa Sarikama Sutsame Siddhin Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvatagata Vajramami Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sava Om Vajrasava Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasava Dinopatita Jinamevava Sutakayamevava Supakayamevava Anurata Mevava Sarasini Mepiyasa Sarikama Sutsame Siddhin Shriyam Guruhum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvatagata Vajramami Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sava Om Vajrasava 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 No, from the crown of your head, Guru Vajrasattva says, Son of the race, your negativities, obscurations, and broken and damaged pledges have been completely purified. Think, before Guru Vajrasattva, I vow never again to commit those negative actions from which I can easily abstain, and not to commit for a day, an hour, or at least a few seconds those negative actions from which I find it difficult to abstain. And then you imagine Guru Vajrasattva Mother completely satisfied with that request, that resolution, that resolve. And you imagine Guru Vajrasattva and Mother dissolve into light and descend through the crown of your head to the third eye region, filling your body with white light, purifying all the negative karma and obscurations created by the body. And then descends to the throat, filling the body with red light, purifying all of the negative karma obscurations created through speech. And then descends to the center of your chest, filling your body with blue light, purifying all the negative karma and obscurations created in the mind. And then imagining white, red, and blue light filling your body, purifying all the negative karma and obscurations created by body, speech, and mind. And then imagining arising crystal clear, completely purified. Imagine all beings in the universe arising in a similar way. And then rest for a few seconds in the visualization that there doesn't exist any suffering anywhere in the universe because all beings have been purified. And then think the person who's purified is empty of existing inherently. And the action of purifying is empty of existing inherently. And that which is purified is empty of existing inherently. So you think from the ultimate analysis, things do not exist inherently or intrinsically. But conventionally, they exist by mere imputation, by name and thought imputing on an appropriate basis of designation. So things do not exist inherently, and yet they function. And then we dedicate all our efforts. So we came to this, we've logged in, we carved out some time, we listened to the instructions, we engaged to whatever extent we could. All that energy can be dedicated to a bigger goal, as big as possible, so we can always draw from it for later. So you dedicate to the long lives of all spiritual teachers, all your spiritual teachers. May you never be separated from them. May you always see the best in their qualities, and may you always work to serve them to the best of your abilities. And may we never be separated from the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa and the other schools of Tibetan Buddhism, Kagyu, Nyingma, Sakya. May we never be separated from the path of renunciation, bodhicitta, the pure view and emptiness in the 2 stages of tantric practice. And may all the environmental problems of this earth instantly cease, in order that those who practice the Dharma may continue to practice peace, those who are about to begin practicing the Dharma may begin in peace, and those who have yet to hear of the Dharma may hear of it in peace. And may all those that think about us, remember us, dream of us, speak to us, hear our voices, see our bodies, speak our names, touch our bodies, like us, love us, hate us, up to the point of killing us. May they have every kind of happiness, and may they be free from every kind of suffering. May we dedicate in a way such that no matter how a being interacts with us, whether that's lovingly, whether that's aggressively, even if they kill us, may we dedicate so that that interaction alone causes them benefit. In the long term. And may all wars, famine, quarreling, fighting all around the world may instantly cease by virtue of our practice. And may all non-human beings, animals, insects, birds, fish, and so on. And then, of course, Buddhism establishes other non-human beings, the existence of other non-human beings. May they have every kind of happiness and be free from every kind of suffering. And may we work to be able to do that to the best of our ability. May all the mundane needs of beings be met. So may they have shelter and companionship and food and medicine and money and all these. May they have everything they need in order to be able to practice spiritual goals to develop as a person. And if we're able to do that, then may we not hesitate. If that's, and then may all the spiritual goals of beings come instantly to fruition. So people want to become monks or nuns or debate or meditate or memorize texts or study texts or finish study programs or do art, build buildings and all the kinds of things you can do in Buddhism. May everyone have all their goals be accomplished without any obstacles. May we never hesitate to support someone as they pursue their spiritual development. And then may all institutions that support human development, may they have every resource they need. Money, time, volunteer time, participants, praise. So may all institutions like Tutu Norbeling and all the other places, Maitripa College, all the other places, may they have everything they need. And since the time that we've been here, then many people have died or begun the process of dying, or have found out they're going to die. So if they can become well, then may they become well instantly. And if they can't, may they transition to death peacefully. And if they can become enlightened in the in-between state, in the Bardo state, which is postulated by Tibetan Buddhism, then may they do so. And if they can't, then may they be reborn human, meet qualified Mahayana teachers or friends, and have every happiness and free from every suffering, and become a Buddha in that very instant. And then at the very least, no matter what happens in our lives, whether we become Buddhist or not, whether we stay Buddhist or not, whatever happens to us, all the pain, all the joy, whatever, at the very least, then I would dedicate to have a kind heart to be warm, to be kind. At the very least. Okay. So you're a little bit over. Thank you very much. It's nice seeing you all.
That was lovely, Michael. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank
I will
you.
see you next week.
Thank you, Mike.